Western legacy media is reporting on Australia, Canada, and the UK, who today recognized Palestine as a state, 21st September 2025. And many of you are wondering, why? Why did they recognize these states? Why did they recognize Palestine? Why now? Surely not out of the goodness of the hearts of the administration officials. After 2 years, 60 to half a million deaths by some reports in the besieged Palestinian territory of Gaza, why now would the UK, Australia, and Canada recognize a Palestinian state? Now, that's what I'll be outlining today. Why? Based on an understanding of the geopolitical dynamics that move the hand of these nation states. First off, it's not because it's the right thing to do and these nations are the good guys who can do no wrong. I'm not anti-West, though. I have to say most nations don't operate in that way, in a goody two-shoes way, trying to be on the right side of history just for the sake of it, just it's the right thing to do, right? Is no. Everything is transactional, almost everything. And you can basically say everything and then be surprised in the 1% of the time it's not transactional at a administrative geopolitical level. But also, it's not on the other side, these states didn't recognize Palestine now because of some weird, convoluted plot, by my assessment, by the ones who gave the land to the Zionist project those decades ago. Decades is 10 years, by the way. Those who gave the Zionist project the land in the first place. It's not some weird sort of Uno reverse card playing 4D chess strategy, no, by Britain, no. It's not a crazy plot. So take off your conical aluminium plated hat or tin foil, if you will. It's simple, actually. But I will somehow manage to stretch the time out and waste your time. Sorry if I do that. I will try to be brief. I'm not joking. I don't make these long for the sake of it. I actually try to get a lot packed into the 5 to 10 minutes that I make my videos in. So, why? The administrations of these states were under severe pressure from their citizenry to do something, literally anything. Please do something in our name, because we are watching something that is absolutely unacceptable, giving us 1930s World War II Germany vibes, and our states are somehow sort of supporting it. Right? And the administrations of these states realized that the trend, the trajectory that things are going in is clear. Israel is on its way out of the good books of the West, and pro-Palestinian sentiment is on its way up within the citizenry of these Western countries. So, in an effort to make sure these countries don't back the wrong horse as it gallops off a cliff, in an effort to make sure these countries can flip to the right side of history, in quotation marks, before they are recorded as supporting the wrong side of history till the ugly end, they're making moves now. Better late than never, right? In an effort to quell their people and say, look, we even recognize Palestine, so we can't be the bad guys, right? We're on the right side of history on this, right? We're a bit late to the party, sure, but we are here at the party, right? The good guys' party. Citizens of these countries, however, are very unlikely to go home, recycle their placards and their signs, and stop protesting and be satisfied with state recognition of Palestine, because that doesn't do much on the ground. After all, tents are still being hit by airstrikes. Towers are still being, residential towers are still being missiled to the ground. Women and children are still being starved, right? Believe not just me. That's weird syntax, but I'm saying don't just believe me. Don't just take my word. Believe the Red Cross and Red Crescent societies. Believe Amnesty International. Believe the United Nations' own aid organization on the ground that has been working in occupied Palestine since before you and I were born, right? Believe them. Or you can believe the weird social media content creators that Israel's flown out and then sort of told them to record pallets of food and say, look, the food's already in Gaza. Pick who you're going to believe. There's narratives of both sides, of course. People are still starving due to the Israeli military blockade. That's the facts on the ground. So if this public recognition of Palestine was to placate, to calm the citizenry, I would assess it will not be enough. They'll want more. The youth, even semi-internet savvy old-timers like me, are far more educated now than ever before when it comes to the realities on the ground due to social media and internet access. We just know more, so it's very easy to smell out the nonsense, the BS, and call it out when you see it. No, people aren't blindly following ITV or Sky or BBC News and thinking, okay, well, it must be true because, We're seeing it on our TVs. No, no. There's videos of the exact contrary a lot of the time. And so people are saying, call BS on that. Because, I'm watching I'm just watching something completely different happening live. So expect the people in these countries to demand more and not just be satisfied with recognition of a Palestinian state. Expect people to say, this is not the last step, this is the first step. We need more. And Israel, of course, finds itself more isolated now than ever before. Its allies, even in the West, are moving, according to Israel, in absolutely the wrong direction. Netanyahu's really peed off. Benny Gantz is really peed off. Every Israeli official with the ex-Twitter account is already like, oh, you're rewarding, resistance forces. How could you? Oh my God, what a betrayal of blah, 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 blah. But, some of them haven't got the memo that your victim card's expired. You laminated it, you gold-plated it, but it's expired, It's expired in the eyes of the people. For better or worse, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not cheering that your victim card's expired, but it's expired. Now, time will tell how things progress, and I'll be here to report to you the news and analysis, unbiased and without the Western spin. And for the history that's tied to these geopolitical thingamajiggings and the news and the analysis, the history that's tied, if you're wanting a more slower paced, but something I deliver, something I've researched and delivered, if you're wanting the history in a sort of podcast format for your journeys to or from work, or I don't know, while you're on the treadmill, I could probably do with a bit of anyway. If you're wanting something longer form and for history, go to TikTok, search up newsbaba.history. I've made a new account where I'm going to post longer form history content. Mahfouz, honestly, what's wrong with you? TikTok is short form content. You're already pushing 10 minutes most of the time. You're telling us you're making even longer form content. What's wrong with you? The answer, I honestly don't know. No one's diagnosed me with anything yet. So I'll see you on the next one. Or I'll see you on my history page. Ta-ra!